Hello loves, and welcome to my channel, Dragons and Damsels. Here we will be discussing a multitude of things, from myths and legends to occult concepts and makeup. Today we will be discussing the first card in a deck of tarot, the Fool. Now, disclaimer. This information is based off of about 6 different books and websites researching tarot and correspondences that I've pored over and condensed. But I believe that tarot is best used when you find your own meaning for the card, because your symbolism may be different than what is written down by someone else. With that said, let's get into it. The Fool is probably one of my favorite cards in a deck of tarot. It most often represents me when I read for myself, and it also represents the journey of life. The Fool, in its base form, doesn't have the same meaning as most of the other cards in the deck. It actually best represents humanity. It also holds aspects from every card in the deck. Usually when it pops up in a reading, it will represent the person you are reading for, or someone else related to them. The Fool is someone who is at the start of their journey, due to really how a person experiences their life. The Fool can change the meaning in the cards around it, flipping them to the lighter meaning, or to their reversed, depending on the position. Now let's get into the meaning. Most often, the meaning of the Fool is starting a new journey on your path, taking a risk, or taking a leap of faith. The Fool can also represent a type of person, someone who is a happy-go-lucky risk taker, and someone who is ready to go start their adventure. This card encourages you to be open to new philosophies, prospects, and ideas. Even with the prospect of failure, it urges you to keep trudging on and living. The Fool generally does not have the typical reverse or shadow meaning as other cards do. It can sometimes represent someone who is taking their journey irresponsibly, but it can also bring the shadow and reversal out in the cards around it. Now let's go a little bit into the correspondences and associations that you can get, as you can even use tarot to enhance your spell work, and not just use it as a divinatory tool. The Fool is one of the only cards in the deck that does not have a deity association, due to its nature, as the Fool represents humanity and not divinity. It is one of the paragons of the element of air, and it is ruled astrologically by the sign of Aquarius. It is associated with the planet Uranus, the gemstones agate and tourmaline, and the Nordic rune Jera. The colors that most often represent the Fool are the colors blue and yellow, the colors of the Jester. Plants can also be used to represent this card, and those would be peppermint and the aspen tree. To explain the makeup look I did to represent the Fool, I used blue and yellow, and I used them in a way to make them flow, but in a very bold and risky way. I also used big lashes and a bold lip because I think my glamour for the day is to take a risk. My ending message for you today is to be like the Fool when you can. Take a risk, and remember that this journey, the journey of life, is always worth taking, even when things seem dark. I love you all dearly, and have a wonderful awakening.